Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, Assassin's Creed, a product from Magic the Gathering, has come out with some massive reprints, and you know what that means? Massive price drops as well. So with that said, let's jump into the cards that you should be picking up right now. So, first up, an oldie but a goodie. Let's talk about Cover of Darkness. This card first came out in Onslaught, which is when I started playing Magic a long time ago, and it had never seen a real reprint, actually. I don't know if that Salvat thing is in 2005, but I think that's probably digital. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Onslaught, $41.61. This thing went so high in price, and now it finally sees a reprint. Apparently there's 3 different versions of this, but the cheapest version, what I'm going to be going on based off of Scryfall, $7.29. That is a massive price drop. And there's a reason why this one is, well, so high in demand and so expensive, and now finally, hopefully, a little more budget friendly. Still nowhere near my budget, but might be within yours. It's an enchantment for 2 mana, essentially, in black. Enters the battlefield as a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type have fear. They can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. This is not unblockability, but this is a very good form of evasion that can get you through on a lot of opponents and make some blocks very difficult. And also, it is, well, unblockability basically for your entire team. Because, yeah, you've got, again, a tribal deck. Every kind of creature in the deck essentially is the exact same thing. They're, wizards. They're all, squirrels. They're all whatever. I don't know. Whatever you're picking. Dothy, tribal, whatever it is. And essentially, when you just play this 2-mana enchantment, you make, to some of your opponents, your creatures unblockable if they're not playing black or don't have any artifact creatures, which is pretty typical. Or, yeah, just make their blocks more difficult. We're like, I only have 2 creatures that can block. How do I do this? Yeah, so for a 2-mana enchantment, this kind of evasion is massive for your entire team. And yeah, tribal decks are some of the most popular types of decks out there. I think if you add up like all the tribal decks, are probably the #1 theme on EDH Rec, I believe. Anyways, moving on. Propaganda, yet another great enchantment, one that's been around for a long time, has actually seen a decent amount of reprints. Not as much as Ghostly Prison, I feel like, but maybe. Anyways, Propaganda is an enchantment for 3 mana in blue. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. Basically the exact same thing as all those other types. I mean, some of them have, like, Planeswalkers too counted, like this doesn't, but most of the time you don't really care about that. You're caring about, oh, hey, I play a slow enchantment, and all of a sudden I'm turtled up. Yeah, you're not going to swing at me most likely because you don't got to pay to attack that player over there, right? And I'm not that much bigger of a threat, right? So, yeah, being able to either deter attacks completely or just, like, deter your opponents from being able to send their entire force at you and only being able to send a couple things, for most decks out there, that's going to get the job done. Having this in play is just a, yeah, just stay away from me kind of card. Right now, $1.94. This card's been around like $4 or $5 or so, depending on where you've been getting it from, what set you're getting it from. But yeah, it's seen some reprints. Again, it just got another one in Modern Horizons as well, so its price right now, $100, is absolutely massive. It might go down even further than that as things go on with these reprints. Next up, Temporal Trespass. Yeah, a grossly good card. Sorcery for 8 blue. So 11 mana in total, but you're never going to be paying that. Delve, so you can delve away that 8 generic mana, essentially. Just, get rid of cards in your graveyard, exile them away, and all of a sudden, this is a 3 mana extra turn spell. Take an extra turn for this one, exile this. So, yeah, it's not like, Time Warp and those kind of cards where you, get to, keep in your graveyard. But, yeah, you don't get to actually do that with a lot of extra turn spells. That being said, being able to pay 3 mana just for an extra turn is absolutely crazy. I actually didn't realize this is the first reprint of this one as well, kind of like Cover of Darkness. $17.14 previously, now down to just $3.73 for the least expensive version of these. So, yeah, that is a massive price drop. If you're the kind of player who's playing extra turns deck, congratulations, it's cheaper. I mean, and also some players just throw an extra turn spell here and there in some decks as well. But yeah, a very powerful card. Now for just, again, $3 or so. I mean, obviously, keep in mind, decks that care about, a high converted mana cost, like, say, a Yuriko deck, could also utilize this as well. And drain your opponents by 11 when you're doing so. Next up, one of my most hated cards of all time. Most likely because Eddie uses it in a very good fashion, but oh, this card annoys me. Okay, Reconnaissance. It's an enchantment for a single white mana, and it has Pay 0, remove target attacking creatures you control from combat, and untap it. The reason I dislike this card is because it's kind of obnoxious, because Magic works in weird ways where combat has like 18 steps to it. Okay, it's probably like 7 or whatever. It has a lot of steps to it, and you can just like remove the attacking creature from combat whenever you really want to during those steps, essentially. I mean, I'm probably saying like these rules all wrong and probably getting yelled at in the comments below right now, but basically, you can still deal your combat damage and untap it. This card was not intended to let you do that when they designed it. They're not like, what we're going to do is we're going to let rules lawyers out there really just make the most of this card and be obnoxious to other players out there when they're like, haha, you let my creature through. Well, it's going to deal damage and I untap it and it's basically vigilance. Yeah, I don't like when people like tinker with the rules and just like, like, aha, I got around the rule. Good for you. Regardless, it's a very good card, okay? Number one, this is basically just like pseudo vigilance if you really want to. I mean, you also like are protecting the creature from getting hit. Like you're like, I don't like that you're blocking it this way. So you can like kind of like have like perfect attacks where you're like, okay, I swing. Oh, I didn't like that you blocked those specific things. Get out of combat. Come here, untap. I didn't do it with these. So you can kind of have like really like perfect combats with these, and also some like weird things you can do and play with it. And again, like just dealing the damage still or getting that attack trigger still without having to actually risk the creature is very, very good, obviously. This one is an incredibly old card. I didn't realize that it got up to $14.29. It was in a secret layer drop as well. Those don't really count too much when it comes to actual prices, though. But yeah, like a $14, $15 card, now down to just around $2. It's a great deal for it. I personally would like you to, if you are going to use this card, though, if you would, be nice to newer players when you're playing this and actually explain to them before you're like, I untapped things and you didn't think I could actually deal damage to you, but I did. Just be nice to new players, this kind of stuff. Magic's a complex game, and this allows you to get around some really weird rules in Magic, okay? Next up, Black Market Connections. Yeah, you knew this was going to be expensive right when it was printed. It was in Battle for Baldur's Gate, like a $20 plus card or so. Yeah, very, very good. Kind of like a Phyrexian Arena-ish. Enchant for 3 mana in black. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. Sell contraband, create treasure token, you lose 1 life. Buy information, draw a card, you lose 2 life. Hire Mercenary, create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature with changeling, you lose 3 life. I almost said like creature token and changeling all at the same time for crangeling, which is not a thing. Yeah, so essentially you could like lose 6 life and you get a treasure, draw a card, and a 3/2 changeling. Most of the time players are gonna be like, okay, I lose 3 life, treasure, and draw the card, which is a decent amount of life to lose, but of course there's ways to make up for that. There's ways to gain the life back. There's swap life strategies. There's decks that really don't care about losing life at all. Or decks that benefit from losing the life too. But yes, there are also decks around there like, oh yeah, a changeling equals, I'm playing a tribal deck, a dragon. It equals an elf. It equals a whatever you're playing, essentially. You're getting an extra of those each turn too. So this is crazy amount of value on a 3 mana enchantment. Yeah, and anything that says treasure on it essentially is going to be expensive these days when it comes to like repeatable treasure making things. Even if you're just like doing like, okay, lose life, make a treasure, cool. You're getting like extra free ramp each turn. Not free, you're losing life, but basically free. And yeah, I mean, you're probably also going to be drawing the cards too. So it's a very, 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 very good enchantment. $9.30 right now, a drop down from around $20 or so. That's a massive price decrease. Next up, lots of great enchantments apparently getting reprinted right now. So we've got Coastal Piracy. This one is enchantment for 4 mana in blue. Whenever a creature control deals combat to an opponent, you may draw a card. This one is from Arcadian Masks quite a long time ago. It did receive a reprint actually in 8th edition and then Jumpstart as well. But yeah, it's like been few and far between. Arcadian Masks was a long time ago. So was 8th edition, obviously. But yeah, a long time ago. It was around like a $4 or $5 card, dropping down to just $1.65. There's a lot of decks out there that can utilize this kind of a card. There's also other types of cards that do basically the exact same thing or like somewhat similar things, like a Bite and Thassa. I say a lot, not really a lot. There's a couple, and then they're more expensive because, like, yeah, you're getting more and more of these effects. And again, like, this is an absurd amount of card draw. This was before Wizards really started to like kind of like limit things, like only 1 per opponent, or like 1 for each turn, or like 1 per creature. This is like, oh no, you get through on opponents at all with combat damage, you're drawing a ton. So obviously, like Double Strike can really help you out with that too. Extra combats can help you out too. But basically, just like if you have like a Flying Men deck, like low to the ground, evasive, 1 mana, flyers essentially, or like evasive creatures. Cool, you're getting through, you're drawing cards. Even if you're not doing that, though, if you just like have a combat focused strategy, you can draw a lot of cards, something like this. an absurd amount of card value. It's interesting that this is an uncommon, apparently. That's cool, I guess. But yeah, $1.65. We'll see if that price drops down any further. Next up, Conspiracy. Yet another, again, all weird enchantments, I guess. But yeah, enchantments. Mercadian Masks is also when this one came out. 5 mana enchantment in black. Enters battle, features a creature type. Creature controller of the chosen type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't in the battlefield. Kind of like the unevolved version of like a Maskwood Nexus, I guess, where like Maskwood just counts everything, like changeling for everything, basically. This is more so like Xenograph, kind of, I think. Is that the card? But yeah, things like that. It's still a very good card for those kinds of decks that like want to get everything the exact same creature type. Like I guess, Lord's Tribal type deck, or if you have a deck that like, oh, I can make like a bunch of creature tokens with this, but like also I want them to like become wolves or whatever. I don't know, but whatever you want them to be, essentially, so you can have extra value. So it's a type effect that is not out there all that much. There's only so many of these types of effects out there. Again, I think I mentioned like Xenograph, this. That blue enchantment for 3 that I can't remember the name of, that like someone's like swimming in the water with a necklace on. I can't remember, and I think it's from Ixalan. Let me know in the comments below which one I'm missing. And then Maskwood Nexus type effects. But yeah, there's only so many of these, so yeah, that's why this again can be like a $5 card when it's pretty specific. But yeah, $5 or so down to $1.30. Quite the savings there. Next up, Sword of Light and Shadow. If you're a swords player and you just love like getting all the swords out, all the equipment out, yeah, you're going to love this reprint. Down from like $18 to $20 or so, down to $7. That's quite the drop right there. I will say that this one's not like the most sought after sword. We'll talk about maybe another one here in a little bit that is, but still, if you're a swords player and you're like, oh yeah, I just take all the swords and chuck them into a deck because Voltron with that or equipment with that is quite fun. Yeah, Sword of Light and Shadow, and equipment for 3. +2/+2, pro white, pro black. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat to a player, you gain 3 life and you may return to 1 target creature card from your grave to your hand. Again, like, better in other formats potentially, but like, it's nice for, you know, protection from white and from black. That's great when it comes to like a lot of good removal spells that this dodges. That being said, like, gain 3 life, that's like probably the most lackluster out of every single one of these effects. It's like, oh, okay, cool. We're at a 40 life game with 4 opponents or 4 players, and I just gained 3 life. Woo! Versus like a one-on-one, you know, where you gain 3. That's much more impactful with 20 life. Getting a creature back from your grave to your hand is nice. There's only so many decks that like really revolve around that, though. That being said, again, if you have like swords.deck, congratulations, you have a cheaper sword to get. Here's the big one, though. Sword of Feast and Famine, the most played, I believe. It's got to be the most played out of all the swords in Commander. It's equipment for 3. Quick creature gets +2/+2, has protection from black and from green. Whenever quick creature deals combat to a player, the player discards a card. You untap all lands you control. Yeah, I mean, that is really, really good. Like, them discarding a card that's not like ho-hum, like that's still impactful. You wouldn't just like get this and be like, oh, that's the best thing ever. But untap all lands you control is absurd. So that's why in Commander, this is like, oh yeah, that's the best one. Being able to just untap your lands, like, oh, okay, cool. I dumped all my mana into stuff. I can untap my lands. I can either save that for like instant spells on my opponent's turns, or just like have a second main phase and be like, just dump a ton of mana. Let's basically double up your mana each turn. That can be great. $19 right now, down from around like $40 or so. That's a huge price drop. But yeah, I mean, we kind of got like maybe one of the weaker swords with Sword of Light and Dark, or Light and Shadow, whatever it is, and then Sword of Feast and Famine, one of the better swords out there. Obviously, the best sword in Commander, not best, I guess, but the most popular sword in Commander. So again, if you have a swords deck, or just a deck that utilizes like wanting to untap lands, congratulations. Next up, just want to mention this one really quick. Assassin's Trophy. This is one where like, I was shocked to see this one reprinted at Murder Karlov Manor. Like, oh my gosh, like that tanked its price. Like, this card was much more expensive, like $6, $7, $8 or whatever it was. Like a great removal spell. I should probably read it really quick. Instant for 2 mana in Golgari. So target permanent opponent controls. Its controller may search the library for a basic land upon the battlefield, then shuffle. Yeah, go ahead and get your basic. Good for you. I just destroyed whatever permanent I want for just 2 mana instant speed. That's amazing. But yeah, another reprint is definitely nice to bring its price back down. This one actually was budget friendly within my budget for like half a second. It was underneath $1. Now, again, it kept going back up in price because players were like, oh my gosh, gotta go get it. Got reprinted again, back down to $1.48. We'll see if that goes down even further. We shall see. Sometimes like after like a set is released, the prices again keep fluctuating. Like right now, like this is more like what they should be versus like if you see like the pre-order prices, like some of them are absurd. It's like, oh yeah, why is this Sword of Feast and Famine like 5 times as expensive as the originals? usually it balances out later on, and then when the actual day comes when it's released, like, the prices actually become more what they're going to be. That being said, it might adjust even further and go back into budget for me, maybe. We shall see. Regardless, I hope that you found this helpful. If you are interested in any of these cards, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. Excited for some Bloom Burrow cards coming out. We shall see if we get any reprints like we did with Assassin's Trophy, in Murders of Call Manor. We'll see if we get any reprints that are spicy in Bloom Burrow. We shall see. Maybe some squirrel-based reprints. That could be interesting. So, yeah, we shall see. I don't think Chatterfang's coming back in that, though. We shall see. Who knows? Regardless, if you're interested in these cards again, check out that link. And, of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.